All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the daily update, my 1000 day challenge. Uh, all right, so today is day 541, so let's get things started. All right, so first and foremost, today is a Sunday. I'm just going to do a quick run through in terms of crypto market itself. So generally on the Bitcoin itself, we're still seeing lower low. You can see on the daily chart itself, definitely we still haven't see a defined clear bottom just yet. So there's some sort of indecision right now at the market itself, which you can see is actually a 0.8. 80% retracement since the low over here. So definitely not a good sign if you look in terms of a mid-term kind of a bullish momentum. But of course, if you look over here, the good thing is that we actually have a very sharp angle towards this bearish momentum. So generally, like similarly here, decently sharp angle. Parabolic in a certain way. I wouldn't say it's parabolic in that sense, but you have a very different sharp angle. So when it does have a bounce, which nobody knows where, it could be at 30K, it could be even as low as 20K, 10K, or even lower. But the point of fact is when it does have a bounce, it potentially could have a very sharp bounce just as well. So for me right now in long-term investment, I'm still holding strong in terms of my position-wise. I'm not changing in terms of my investment thesis simply because of the fact that in order for me to pull out the investment fully and then to reinvest it itself, you got to be monitoring it very closely and deploy your capital in a very time sensitive kind of manner, because when it does bounce, it could bounce within a few hours, and it could be the few hours that you're asleep, and that difference itself could be a 30-40% jump itself. So you could have somewhat like this is still not so parabolic, but what you can see, I guess previously you can see this sort of candlestick itself, whereby you over a period of time you can have a very sharp spike. So these are the things that you may not. So for example, you sold over here thinking that it was still going to go further down. Yes, it did. But the point of fact is when it does have a strong bounce, you will miss that in that perspective. So similarly, like over here, when it does have a strong bounce, if you sold it over here thinking that we could actually break and go lower, then the consideration is that by the time you find it, you'll be somewhere along here, and then you're going to re-enter all your position again. And even then, you may be thinking that is it the right time to invest. So to me, the downside to me right now where we are is there, but it's definitely not as sharply as what we'll be perhaps in a couple of weeks ago. So I'm definitely not keenly selling in that particular manner. If we do visit the bottom itself, it would just be a 15% drop, and we do a very sharp bounce thereafter, we could just have a 10% gain, and you could just have a 5% gain based on your capital itself, which may be attractive if it does happen, but if and only if it does happen. So it's anybody guess. And so for me, I will not take the particular risk. But when it comes to trading wise, then yes, it's just a small position of my total portfolio size itself. All right, so with that said, anyway, just going along in terms of my trading position wise, I did mention very closely on the forward chart. I'm trading it on the in a short position right now. So I'm trading very closely looking at this 20 exponential moving average. The minute the price does actually close above it, on the forward chart, and I'll be closing the trade itself. You can see there could be a potential bounce incoming, especially the MACD crossover. But if it's a weak bounce, retest the 20 exponential moving average and a rejection follow suit, then we could see much lower low, perhaps retesting this 30K mark for a much stronger bounce. And in which case, if that happens, closing above the 20 exponential moving average would be a more convincing signal for me to close my short setup. Alternatively, if I do see extremely high funding rate across all the futures exchange itself, which means it's more like 5 to 10 times what the usual funding rate is, then definitely I'll be looking to at least close half the position and then just trail the remaining 50% of the position itself. So until that has happened itself, I'm not looking to close the short. And with that said, I've come to the end of today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop by your comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.